welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Michael Chandler here just to give you some more information today. I was reflecting on a time that I lived in an apartment building that wasn't really up to par, and it had a lot of problems, a lot of maintenance issues, and things like that. But before I give you that, I want to give you some backstory on some of the information that I've already given you that you probably didn't write down, or you may be new here and you may not remember. And one of the things that I asked, that I gave to you to operate in, I should have put it on one of the habits for New Year's, but I'll give it to you now. And that's basically try to have a positive attitude, no matter what, no matter how dark it gets, no matter how impossible it seems. You need to dig down and you need to find the best way that you can be during that lowest time. And that will even out when the tide rises. That makes sense. Okay. Now, in doing that, I'm going to give you an example of how that works so you can see how what I'm giving you, what I'm giving you in action. Okay. Let's say, for instance, not for instance, this is a true story. I lived in some not so good apartments in not so good area of the city, right? And there were some issues during the winter about around this time. And I didn't have any hot water. The heater didn't work. And I thought once I contacted them to fix everything, that it would be done the next day. So I didn't care to keep complaining. So 2 or 3 days later, I'm still freezing. It's still cold. I'm still bundled up. And I contact maintenance or, management, like, hey, what's going on? And then, long story short, they mentioned how because of the weather, the rain, somehow it messed some system up, and that most of the top floor apartments were going without, hot water, heat, etc. Right? So at this time, yeah. So at this time, I'm really down. I'm starting to get upset, and I'm starting to develop a bad attitude because I'm impatient. And this is one of the primary needs of man: food, water, and shelter. If one of them is off, if you ain't eating right, if your shelter and your living situation isn't up to par, it brings you down, and it kind of puts a cap on your thinking and your manifestation and your money-making capability, right? Relationships, attraction, whatever. So because of this information that I have, that I'm giving you, I knew that right then I needed to operate in what it is that I've been talking about. Okay. So right when I was developing a bad attitude because of my primary, needs not being met, I wanted to hang up and be rude, but somehow it's as if this wasn't me talking. This is what came out of me. Y'all ready? It was as if something took over my body and started speaking for me. I cannot describe it, but I wouldn't be here lying to you, okay? I said, okay, ma'am, I understand the situation, and I understand that I can hear in your voice that it must be difficult for you too, as, the management of the building. So I said, do me a favor. She said, yeah, what, how can I help? I said, so there's a list, right, of the people that whose heat has went out and don't have hot water, etc. She said, yeah. she told me where I was and that I wasn't next, but it would be a while, maybe a day or two. So I said, okay, well, check this. Um, if there's any elderly or if there's any families that have, small children, do me a favor. Put them before me. Place me all the way to the end if you have to. But if someone gets done today or the next day, and if there's somebody that has to be last, I'd rather it be me because I'm manly like that and I can just thug it out like that, so to speak. But if there's any families with children, if there's anyone that's, elderly, put them before me. You see how that game works? You see how I was big in a small moment? I was just about to develop a nasty attitude, a negative attitude, and would have been within a common man's rights. But being that I'm indoctrinated in my own information, there was a different experience that was uncommon. I was able to bring some game by telling her, hey, man, if there's someone, with small children or if there's any, people that are elderly, just move my name, to the end and service them first, right? Now, what did it do? Well, one, it blew her mind. It blew her mind for two reasons. One, she could relax and regulate herself around the fact that I wasn't negative and I wasn't going to develop a bad attitude and that I wasn't rude toward her. And I'm sure she had been getting calls of people yelling, cussing at her, etc. So by me responding the way I responded with this information that I have, it was able to, lower her anxiety and regulate herself, right? The other thing is it caught her off guard and it surprised her at how big, how responsible, and how caring I was at that time, at that moment. That's one. The other thing it did was it allowed me to operate in what it was that I've been coaching. And it's proof that it works. It works, I think it's Reverend Ike said, it works if you work it, And then after that, of course, I want to say probably a couple of days later, maintenance came. And he's like, oh, that's you? And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, that's you. It's like, oh, man, we heard about you and everything, right? And they're like, you're the one that asked to be at the last of the list. You're the one that said, go to the children's apartments and the apartments with anyone that was elderly. So not only did, management, understand this and had this thing, they had already been talking about me and everything. Maintenance had been talking about me, other people. So it just shows you how big of a thing is when you bring some game and you operate in having a positive attitude no matter what. That's just a small story, just a small taste of how it works. I guess you could call this a testimony if that's what you would like to do. But I figured I would share that with y'all today. Okay. I'm Coach Michael Chandler. If this information has helped you and you feel that something I said has, helped out your thinking, helped you put something together, gave you a different perspective, or you just overall like the content, by all means, please like and share. Okay? Thank you for tuning in. One love.